Hey, I'm back. Hey, so in the last episode, I went through the whole story about how the car was not running right, how many trips I made down to Tony, my good friend now, OG VW mechanic. And since then, he's pretty much got the car running reliably. And I know I left people in somewhat of a cliffhanger on the last episode where I didn't really tell you what Tony did. I want to go ahead and do that. I know a couple people had asked questions in the comments, so we'll go ahead and take care of that. This episode is going to be primarily getting the Scirocco's paint somewhat corrected. It's got 20 years of sitting in the sun oxidation on it, and really this is all about kind of bringing her back to looking the way she should. Okay, so there were basically two problems that we were dealing with. Number one was the fact that you would run the car for a little bit, I would hear that buzzing sound in the rear passenger wheel well, be a buzzing sound, and then shortly after there the car would die. Okay, so Tony had replaced the in-tank transfer pump, which was seized for whatever reason, and even with that brand new pump, it was still stalling. So he did a little bit of detective work, and first he went in and jumped the in-tank pump to make sure that it was actually flowing fuel, and he said there was strong fuel flow out of the tank. So next thing he did was lift the car up, go into where the expansion tank is, which is in the rear wheel well area, that big octopus of tank and fuel lines, etc. I'll put a picture in. And he wanted to make sure that there was fuel flowing from the transfer pump into the expansion tank and then back out by the main pump up to the front of the engine. And what he soon found out was that there was no fuel coming into that tank from the pump. So the pump was giving flow, however, it was not making it into the expansion tank, and therefore the main fuel pump, which sent it up to the fuel filter into the engine, was getting fuel starved and the car was dying. With a little more thought, he decided to drop the rear suspension, drop the tank. He said he really didn't want to do that. I know I wouldn't want to do that given the fact that that was a pretty gnarly job. But when he did drop that tank, he found out that the feeder line coming off of the transfer pump had been pinched. So that was my fault. Apparently when we had put that whole new tank assembly back together, we inadvertently pinched the fuel line coming out from the transfer pump. So definitely my issue.
The reason that bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass.
And kudos to Tony for actually figuring that out. So what he was able to do with the tank, the suspension lowered and the tank lowered just enough, he was able to snake the old fuel line out and put a new fuel line in, and made sure nothing was pinched when he reassembled it, and voila, the car was running again with no problem. So that was the thing that he said. He did something in the last video, but he wasn't going to tell me what he did until we kind of figured out if that was the fix. That was the fix. Okay, so the second issue that we were dealing with was a rough idle. And with everything hooked up the way it should be, meaning that it was running through the emissions control software, meaning that it was taking the sensor data off of the oxygen sensor and the exhaust flow, sending it through the frequency valve, the emissions computer, all that sort of stuff. It just wasn't running well no matter how Tony was able to tune it. So the other thing that he did was simply go in and he disconnected the O2 sensor and basically completely eliminated all of the emissions part of this, which he said that was running, these cars used to run without that long ago and just fine, and ever since he disconnected that, it's been running smoothly. And utilizing the adjustment down in here to work on the mixture, it's idling fine, it's running smooth, and there's no issues whatsoever. So disabling that doesn't really bother me too much because this is a 40-year-old car, and in this state there's no emissions requirement to have it pass any emissions tests, so it's fine the way it is. He did do some other work, which we'll get to in a different video, and attempted to reconnect everything, and it still wasn't running well. So he thinks, you know, the oxygen sensor I replaced was new. The frequency valve I replaced, the frequency valve I replaced was brand new. Unless the computer is messed up, which we don't think. He thinks everything is running fine, but still something he thinks is going on with this guy. This fuel distributor, which is going to be the bane of my existence. He believes something is going on in there. However, the risk versus reward, or, you know, it's taken more time where we can maybe screw something else up, just doesn't seem like it's worth the effort at the moment, seeing as the car's just running fine.
The juice isn't worth the squeeze.
So Tony did test the fuel pressures coming out of the distributor, and while he had some concern that they were a little bit on the low side on a previous video, everything seems to have equalized out. Everything's running within spec. So, you know, he's not inclined to go mess with it anymore. I'm not inclined to mess with it anymore because she seems to be running okay. Now, with that said, there are some options to get rid of the old CIS mechanical fuel injection. There's a number of companies, but I noticed one called Built Industries. They've got a CIS removal EFI kit. Electronic fuel injection. So it comes with the fuel rail, it comes with its own mapped out computer, all the cables and hardware that you need to get rid of the old mechanical system, which hardly anybody now knows how to work on. And if you've been following this story, it's a pain in the ass to actually have somebody who says they know how to work on it and they actually don't. That would be the ultimate fix for this car. I've seen it done on a couple other YouTube channels with Mark IIs. It's pricey. It is pricey. It's running in the order of the $2,000 range to do the complete change out. It looks like it's going to take some time, but I did walk through their website and looked at their instructions, and the instructions seem fairly detailed. So, you know, if there's anybody from Built Industries who wants to partner with this small little YouTube channel and see if we can get one of your systems on this car, give me a shout out. Be happy to talk to you. Hint, hint. Anyway, I hope that answered the two major questions that people had after the last video. Bottom line is she's running pretty good. I'm happy with her at the moment. Let's get back to the purpose of this video. This video is all about, again, doing some paint correction. This will be sort of my first foray into doing that. So, you know, be kind in the comments section. I'm not an auto detailer. I'm just a guy with a garage and some tools, as I've said over and over again. I'll do my best and we'll see how she comes out, but this video is all about trying to make her pretty again. Well, there's one old headlight. Here is what happens when you have super old headlights. Trying to get this bezel off and the whole front of this lens came off. Huh. Crazy.
Damn.
One eternity later.
All right, well, it's my first go at trying to polish the top, and here you can see the way the paint was highly oxidized. Look at that shine. Back in business, boys. Not too bad for a first go round. Bad paint? Good paint. Now, there are some places that were pre-existing. I did not burn through here. In fact, I haven't gone down there yet. Some other places, you can see the paint's super thin. So it's just the way it is, you know. I'm going to call it patina. Just like this cracking on the door pillar. I'm inclined, instead of respraying that, to take it somewhere and have a clear coat put over it just to keep the patina. And the same with up here. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll have it sprayed black. Paint's definitely not pristine, and again, I did not burn through this. This was natural. I'm assuming that's probably when the car cover was on it for a number of years, and is right along here as well. So yeah, I did not burn through this paint. This is the way it was, but whoa, look at the shine on that. You can tell. I hope this comes through. This is deep, and this is the oxidation. So I'll keep going on it, but looking good.
Dynamite!
2,000 years later.
Well, this is the car that I remember. Now, I still need to deal with the black all around. I've got a plan for that. But this is what a couple days, a week of random orbital polishing with cutting compound. I have yet really to even polish this. This is Meguiar's cutting compound. And while it's not perfect, it's pretty damn good. My God, look at this thing. It's back to sort of its vivid Mars red. Again, I've got a plan for the black. In fact, it's right here. I'm going to use this product from Geon. It's Trim Restorer, Ceramic Restorer and Protectant, and you need a prep. This is just basically alcohol, as I understand, also a Geon product, but not today. I'm beat. So, wow, okay. You know, this has been a long time coming, but holy moly, look at this thing. It's a Saturday today. And like I said, this is just cutting compound so far. I haven't even polished it. The hood definitely needs a little bit more work if you look closely. But overall, all I can say is wow. Wow.
Nice.
She came back to life. Came back to life. And I am going to take this car out tomorrow for the roundabout in the coffee shops on a Sunday. and enjoy the heck out of it. So still a long way to go. Still need to work on the interior. Still got a couple other bits and bobs on the inside. I may or may not get to. I'll probably get to in this video. But there we go. Awesome.
I think I'll call you George. George?
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, okay, so the paint's starting to look pretty good. The next thing that I need to do is work on this faded plastic, primarily the bumpers. Here's what Geon Trim Restore and Protectant does on faded black plastic. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. Thanks, Geon.
Day 2.
Tried the Geon product up on top. You can see that this is really faded. It's wavy, etc. And it didn't do anything. It did absolutely nothing.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants. I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. And Jack left town.
And that was after cleaning it, sort of doing the car wash cleaning, and then using their own pre-coating degreaser, which is basically just alcohol. So, after searching around on the internet a little bit more, I decided to try Scirocco Trim Coat Restoration Kit, and turns out that my local Home Depot actually had it. There's an automotive section, who knew? And it comes with these preloaded wipes of ceramic coating applicator. So that's really all it is a preloaded wipe. I have already once again cleaned all of this surface with this alcohol in preparation. It has to be clean and dry. And I didn't film it, but you can maybe see it on this. I'll move the camera over here just a minute. That at least on the front of this bumper, holy crap, it works pretty good. So hopefully you can see, obviously here's the top, and that's pretty darn faded out. And here's the bottom where I've done the application. And, you know, not too bad at all. Now, the bottom wasn't nearly as faded as the top is. Some of this ridge right here is kind of faded, and you can maybe pick it up on the camera that I've gone over it a couple times. It's maybe coming darker, but I'll go ahead and try now applying to the top and see what happens. I don't know. This is really faded. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and see what happens. So this does say to wear gloves. I did wear gloves the first application. We'll go ahead and glove up again. And I have to say that I'm in the garage. The garage door is open. It's maybe about 80 degrees in here. Just started raining a little bit, light rain. It does kind of smell, to be honest. But let me get these gloves on and then we'll tear open a pack and show you what it looks like. Alright, again, so Scirocco ceramic coating applicator. It does have an odor, so I do this in an open, well ventilated area like the instructions say, but that's what it looks like. It's just basically a soaked applicator. So let's get it on the top of this bumper and see what happens. And once again, this has been cleaned. It's been washed, car washed. It's been gone over 2 times with a prep cleaner, which is basically, again, alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. So let's see, fingers crossed, this is pretty bad. But if it comes out like the front, I'm gonna be super happy. You can see these things are pretty loaded up. You can tell it's pretty wet.
Been wandering down the same road back into town, talking on the phone with you. Who knows what we should do? 'Cause I'm tortured. 'Cause when we try to do things right, it always ends up with a fight.
6.5 hours later.
It has darkened it. There's still swirls, but definitely not as bad as it was, and maybe the top will soak in. The front is bang on. The front is banging. It's nice. I like it a lot. But you can see that the top is darker, but just not quite there yet. And if you look back here, I did this thing. Looks pretty good. So I've still got the back to do, right? I'm going to do that tomorrow probably. Or hell, maybe I'll do it now. Nice and cool out. Yeah, let's go ahead and try to do this while I still got some light. Alright, well, next thing to do is to get rid of this ratty old steering wheel where you can see the leather wrap has seen better days. It's dirty, it's grimy, it's gross. So I got a new one.
What?
And here's the new one. So this is from Mr. Vroom, I believe. Nice leather wrap, red stitching, top center. I like this a lot. It's got the texture on here and solid on the bottom. Yeah, this was off of eBay, Mr. Vroom, I believe, out of Bulgaria, of all places. And there you can see the stitching on the back. Looking forward to putting this on. It was, I believe, $300, so a little on the pricey side, but you know what? Why not? Alright, next thing is the original shift knob, and you can see, if this thing will focus, the Leather has come all undone. Years and years of use. So this one's coming off. And while the steering wheel came from Bulgaria, brand new shift knob, leather wrapped, came from Lithuania. Another eBay purchase. And there she goes. Not bad. Alright, let's get the battery hooked back up and see if this steering wheel works and the horn works and everything, and if so, we'll be off to the races. There we go, baby. Not bad at all.
Not bad. Not bad.
Well done, guys. She may not be the youngest girl at the ball, but she'll turn a head or two. If she drives as well as she looks, we may even survive.